All right, it's time to add a twist. I can't do that. In this lesson, we'll mix things up by changing the curve profile of our second array. You'll see how just a small change can completely transform the look and feel. Ready to give it a go? Now, you've come that far. What next? Of course, as mentioned, you can just repeat the whole ornament throughout the design and just create kind of these maybe Greek style repetitions or make any kind of pattern that you like. But if you want others which are shaped differently, of course, you can also copy and paste the arrayed version of the ornament. Okay? To make a copy of these 4 basic objects, we can just press Shift-D, and then right afterwards we can press X, and this will move our original object, which you remember is still lying flat on the x-axis. And in this way, you can just place it so that the pattern is filled in between the original. And now, of course, if you go into edit mode, you can just adjust the shape and make this into any kind of different ornament that you like. And since you have relative offset, depending on how big you make the ornament, it will change the placement of the rest of the array. So if you want to avoid that, of course, you can go to constant offset and just give this a constant offset so that it ignores any adjustment in shape. Okay, and you can always navigate around the ring on the right side to see the result that you have. So since we copied this second object from the first ornament, of course it has the same profile as the first one, but of course we can give this one a new profile now. We could give it an object profile or just simply a square profile, and this way change the look of the second ornament. And of course you can also press Ctrl-T to tilt it or Alt-S to change individual thicknesses of the control points. Of course, these 2 options can, as always, be found here in the Item tab. And a suggestion for an option that can be nicely combined with tilting, on the new curve, you could select the last point, and then you can turn on proportional editing, which can also be found up here with O, and turn on connected only. Now tilt this last point with Ctrl-R. Now initially, it doesn't look like much is happening because you need to increase the influence by scaling the circle. And now, if you tilt this last point and kind of turn it as if you would screw your mouse pointer around a clock, you can increase or decrease the influence, and then you can adjust the tilt for all of these points, and that gives it a nice twisted wire look or something. And if you change the profile, of course, you can play with this very nicely. You can also use proportional editing to scale up more than one point at the same time along the curve, while only influence the others to a certain degree, or to move them and make the others follow more or less.